All right. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about smart contract security and insurance. Um, just a few words about QuantStamp. We're a Y Combinator based in San Francisco. We were founded in 2017. Since then, we were lucky enough to become a Y Combinator unicorn with solid backing from leading VCs and have over 300 business customers all over the world. You can see on this slide. Um, as was already presented in the previous talk, there's a huge need for security in this space as we're seeing the number of hacks increasing year by year. This is a slightly older chart from Chainalysis from 20. The sort of good news and bad news. I mean, good news for security companies, bad news for everyone else is that the numbers don't look much better in 2023. And that's where we come in. So we have done over 750 audits up to date and secured in total, in aggregate, over 200 billion assets. We have what is called on crypto Twitter the game. So we've created our own insurance company for projects that we deem to be secure. That doesn't mean, but it means that actually have the issues in the audit report. I don't know, am I moving too much or? Okay. And the insurance is reinsured by Munich Re, which is the world's largest reinsurance company. We have some of the best-in-class reports. You can see that on the next slide. We're also a strategic partner. So, of course, there are many startups in this space that might not afford to buy an expensive security audit. Why we actually partner with some of the startups and offer them audits in exchange for equity or tokens. So we have done that several times, and we're a proud investor in several dozens of startups. All right. And last but not least, we're committed to public goods. We've done a lot of research, also funded by the Ethereum Foundation, but also we've audited ETH2 clients such as Prism and Teku. What's our edge? Let me just put everything on this slide because the animation didn't work as expected. Our team has a deep academic background. So most of our engineers have either a master's or a PhD in computer science, mathematics, in topics such as compilers or security. We're basically chain agnostic. We don't focus on a particular chain, although most of our business comes on EVM chains. But we've done layer 1 audits, layer 2 audits, of course, DeFi, NFTs, wallets, centralized exchanges, and even like other types of clients. And the interesting thing is that in the bear market, what we've noticed is that some auditing firms have decided to reduce costs for audits by using less auditors per audit. So we've seen one auditor or two auditors being more common during the bear market in order for the price of an audit to be lower cost. We haven't compromised on this. So we've, even during the bear market, we've kept a minimum of 3 auditors per audit, and we've also added an additional assurance manager that is a more experienced auditor who is going to guide the other auditors if they have any kind of questions, technical questions, but also interacting with the customer, also phrasing things in the report. So, in total, you get basically 4 people looking at your audit and communicating with you. That's one of our other things which are mentioned here. We're high touch. So this is something really surprising because we talk a lot, with the customers during the audit, and they're like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting. Send over the code, get the report, that's it. Very transactional. We do a lot of communication because many projects might not have the best documentation or any documentation for that matter. So we're basically, reverse engineering the stuff and pulling out the documentation from them on the chats. Basically figuring out how things are supposed to work such that we, yeah. Then, I've already mentioned, that we offer insurance, and I'm going to mention the managed security services a few slides later. That's actually something really new that we're rolling out, and it doesn't, the important part is audits are not the last line of defense. All right. To quickly mention that we've done audits for layer ones in Ethereum, BNB chain, Solana, Flow, Cardano, and Ton. So imagine that each of these ecosystems might come with their own models. So it's definitely been a challenge. We love challenges, and any new blockchain that comes to us and says, "Hey, we've just invented a new language. Can you do audits for us?" We definitely don't shy away. We also done layer twos. So for Arbitrum, of course, I mentioned the EF grants a few slides before. We've been awarded several of those. We're, pushing bridge security hard at academic conferences that are peer-reviewed. We've worked with Polygon and several other optimistic rollups, which some of the companies which are mentioned down here, pretty big names. We've done a lot of DeFi audits. So we had been in business a few years at the point in time when DeFi Summer started in 2020. So we've basically seen everything. We've worked with probably over 50% of the top DeFi protocols out there. And of course, you name it, what category of DeFi you want, we've audited it, and we have experts in it. We've also done a lot of NFT, metaverse, and gaming projects, which have different challenges, including Web 2 issues, such as, like issues with scamming, basically people pretending to be the project and stealing tokens from end users. So for those kind of projects, end users are a bigger concern than the actual complexity of the project itself. We've done over 120 of such audits that include the Web 2 part. So the website, the infrastructure. And, doing all of these kind of things, we've come to realize over the years that, a smart contract audit is, by definition, a line-by-line security review where you might use some semi-automated and automated tools to do code analysis. But they're definitely not able to guarantee that, there's no bugs in the smart contract code, right? They're just able to guarantee their presence. So you need more than just an audit. And at QuantStamp, we've come up with a suite of services that you can use, right? And basically, from pre-development, we have training, design consulting, architecture reviews. Then we have, during the development, at the end, we have the code audit, we have economic modeling and simulation, which we can do for projects that are more complex from an economic perspective. And then continuous audits for their updates, because whenever you have smart contract updates, that's one of the main reasons why projects are hacked, that they just deploy updates without having a professional check them, right? And then let me just use the mouse. Let's see if that works. Oh, it doesn't work. We have which is called a deployment audit. So after you deploy your smart contracts, someone needs to check that they've been properly initialized and access control has been properly set. We have infrastructure audits that I've mentioned. This is something especially for people who are doing staking in chains and then doing liquid staking on top of them, right? You need to know that the infrastructure is secure and that your nodes won't get slashed. We have web application penetration testing, which is of course complementary to the smart contract part. This is actually something that we're trying to push more and more for people to know that, smart contracts are just a small part or a part of the risk of the attack you have when you have a DApp. The Web 2 part is very real, and it could lead to way more issues than you think. After deployment, so post-deployment, we have real-time monitoring and prevention, where we're working together with other companies, state-of-the-art monitoring providers that can basically look at all the transactions on chain, look at when a malicious smart contract is deployed, and which victim is it targeting, right? And at that point, if it's targeting one of our customers, we employ circuit breakers to slow things down and allow us to do incident response and mitigation, right? So we jump on a war room with our customer, and we figure out what the issue is in the smart contract, fix it, deploy a fix, and then they're good to go. Of course, this is the happy case, right? Or, yeah, if everything else fails, we have insurance, right? And let's not forget about right? Bug bounty is very important. That's definitely super important. Security governance from these services on stamp both to these kind of continuous audits and also in quorum on chain saying we deem this secure, right? A bit about the insurance part, just to show. So as I mentioned, we're a regular, quite different from crypto. So we have a legal entity, and when we issue an insurance policy, it's a legal contract. So you can take us to court if you're not happy with how we're processing your claim. Crypto cover, the risk is that you don't get your claim and you don't have anyone to take to court, right? And we protect asset managers, but also DeFi projects themselves. We offer very bespoke pricing depending on the exact risks that you want to cover. Maybe you want to cover certain risks, but not others. Like maybe you don't want to cover 51% attacks on the blockchain, right? You're only concerned about your own code, right? If they have bugs. You don't want to cover rug pulls. Of course, this reduces the premium a lot. And we're licensed by the Bermuda Monetary Authority. We're reinsured by Munich Re, which is the largest reinsurer, and we have a very strong, which is Japan's second largest insurance company. Just a quick image of how all this works. Project comes to Quantstamp for an audit. After the audit is delivered, this is the important part. Everything needs to be fixed. If it's not fixed, we don't provide insurance. If everything is fixed properly and we deem the project to be secure, then you might have an insurance buyer, or the project itself could buy insurance, either directly or through a broker. Of course, collaborate with Quantstamp to and this basically is a stop. It's one of the old 40 years old or over 140, and their revenue is over 55 billion. Very strong backstop. So even though if you doubt, you have a mature reinsurance provider. So in terms of, the great thing is that everything is on chain. So whenever a claim is submitted, we can do a forensic analysis, and we can generate a report that we share with the customer explaining exactly why the hack happened and whether it's covered by the policy to the customer and get Munich Re. My side, hope I'm in time. I don't know if there's time for questions, but thanks for listening.